January 18th, 2021. That's when I uploaded this video. The one that's playing on screen right now. It still only has, I think, hang on, I can check real fast. Only has 15 views. I uploaded this video a year ago. Now, it's by far not my most viewed video. That would go to My GF Makes Me Read Homestuck Part 1. And that series continues to be the most viewed video on my channel. But still, a year I've been doing this. That feels significant. For the course of a year, I've gotten over 3K views, cumulatively almost 300 hours of watch time, and 41 subscribers currently. Or no, 42 subscribers currently, my bad. My first subscriber actually came before I even uploaded anything. But still, it's not a lot in the grand scheme of YouTube, but I mean, if I had 42 people in a room, that'd be something. 42 people sitting there watching me play a silly game, or make some art, or play D&D, or do any of the dumb things I do. A year. I'd hope to have a number of big announcements to make for this day, but I don't. I mean, I have announcements to make that will come at the end of this video, but I was hoping to have a Patreon or something to announce, but life complications, I haven't been able to get that yet. I thought I'd talk a little bit about why I started uploading. Sorry, I'm just readjusting. I don't know how long this video is going to be. It's probably going to be a lot of rambling with some announcements at the end. We've got a almost 3-hour video in the background. That's one thing I've learned, is to cut down the video lengths. Except for the D&D campaigns. I like those being long. Well, I say D&D, Heart of Action, tabletop RPG. But yeah, why I started doing this. When I was real little... Did I pause the video? No, it's still going. I just sat there. I'm probably saying some random stupid shit in the actual video that we have on the background. God, the quality's low. But yeah. When I was real young, me and my brother shared a room, and we would stay up super late talking. Not just about nothing. We talk about like shows and games we liked, and like I'm talking really little. This was like before I was in kindergarten. Like, I have so many significant memories from that time. Partially sitting down playing Crash Bandicoot, trying to get through the first world because we didn't have a memory card. The other part being stuff with my brother. But we would talk about games and TV shows we liked, and we started playing this game where he would create a character fit for a world that we enjoyed and talk about what they do in that world, and I would describe how the world reacts. Basically, fanfiction D&D, so to speak. But we didn't know what D&D was at the time. We didn't have dice, we didn't have rules, it was just make-believe and fun. I like to think that's where my love of creating came from. I would do that for a long time. And eventually, I'd learn what D&D is and start learning the rules of that. And me and my brother would play that alongside, with special rules I made up for all sorts of weird augmentations and setting changes. And eventually, when I started getting to high school, I didn't have a lot of friends, and I wanted to make more. So I looked to see if my school had a D&D club, and if not, if I could see if I could make one. And sure enough, there was the Sci-Fi Fantasy Club, and I rolled in, and they needed a DM for D&D because everyone wanted to play it, and so I stepped up. I also joined the art class, and I love making paintings, and I tried my hand at writing. I wouldn't say I'm the best writer in the world. I'm not good at... I don't have the patience for writing. But I loved to create. And ever since I was really little, I wanted to do something involving creating. As a kid, I wanted to become a game developer. And I actually, in my own time, looked really far into that for a long time. Ultimately, I haven't actually, obviously I've not become one. I don't know how to code, and that's really the sticking point is I struggle to learn how to code. But I'm okay with not being a game developer. I found other creative outlets. I found, D&D and all that. And, well, about 2 years ago now, in 2020, that's when I worked at Sonic's restaurant. And I didn't hate my coworkers, but we didn't get along. And, the pandemic was flaring up for the first time. I have asthma, so I was at immuno risk. And my parents had this fun little thing where I didn't have a cent rent. They would just get the entirety of my check. So I never earned money no matter what job I had, no matter how much my job paid. One day, there was a lunch rush. And I was sitting there and I felt this weight on me. It felt awful. I just didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be doing the job. And, well, I was sitting there thinking about it. Me and Arm, my girlfriend, had been talking a lot about the idea of doing YouTube videos together. Me and all my friends were talking about it. And, we kept we would always toss around the idea, but none of us would ever do anything toward it. And I was hating what I was doing, sitting there putting together burgers. And I turned to the one coworker I got along with the most. I wouldn't call him a friend, but he's the one I got along with the most. And I looked at him and I said, if you had a chance to follow a dream that you had, but it was risky to do, would you take the risk? And he said to me, Brian, I really don't want to fucking talk right now. I'm trying to make chili dogs. And I nodded. And I sat there for a second looking at the half-made burger I had in my hands, feeling this weight on me. I said, I think I quit. He said, what? I said, I think I quit. And I realized the first time I said that, the weight had fallen off my shoulders. And so I turned to everyone else in the kitchen and I said, I think I quit. And I walked out and threw my hat off into the bushes. And then I proceeded to not make YouTube videos for a year. I mean, there's more to it than that. I tried to make YouTube videos. I tried a number of different kinds of video. I had tried to, there was a lot of different efforts that had gone into it, Like, God, there's some a big part of the problem was didn't know how to record good, so none of the recordings were coming out right. The initial plan was to do big group projects, and it was hard to get everyone together for those, you know? Um, like, I always loved watching YouTube growing up, because I didn't have a lot of friends, and two of my favorite channels that I remember from my youth were Chugga Conroy and Yogscast. I still am subscribed to Chugga Conroy to this day. Yogscast, they grew out of the content they made, and I grew out of them. You know? But, I wanted to make content like that, and that's what I was really trying to make. But the thing is, I didn't have the time, resources, or skill to make things as in-depth and detailed as the walkthroughs Chugga Conroy made. Like, God, if you watch that guy's shit, it's mind-blowing how much depth and detail he gives. He'll tell you everything about how a game works as he's playing it. But I also didn't have the group coordination and editing skills to make Yogscast-like content. You know, like, the plan was to try and do Among Us and TTT and Minecraft with cutting everyone recording and us cutting from perspectives and stuff, but it was outside of my reach. And on and off for a year, I try and do that. Until eventually I sort of realized, like, you know, I need to start within my range, you know? So, I thought about another creative outlet I'd had in the past, my Fusymon Tumblr. And I thought maybe I can just make videos of me doing that, because I was inspired to do that from watching time lapses of a guy making Fusymon, well, Pokemon fusions. Sadly, he deleted his channel. I'm real upset. I loved their content. They made really good stuff, and like I low key tried to emulate their style with my fusions. But don't even remember the name of their channel because it's deleted. But yeah, so I decided one day I just open Twitch, talk about my Fusymon artwork, put together a big compilation of them, and stream that. With the plan being to make more in the future, hoping I'd get requests in the comments, you know? Never got requests in any comments on any of my Fusymon videos. I got lots of requests left over on Twitch. Not Twitch, on Tumblr. Lots of leftover requests from back in the day when I did it. I did it, like, post-high school when I didn't have friends. I could talk a lot more about my post-high school years. That was influential time of my life. But yeah. I started making things, you know, and the first upload went to YouTube. You know, the first stream was a few weeks before the first upload. But the first upload went live on January 18th, 2021. Like, you know, right there. A year ago today, on the day that this is going up. I wanted to acknowledge that. And I guess the reason I always wanted to create was, like, as a kid growing up, I had autism. I didn't have a lot of friends for a lot of my life. So, books, TV, YouTube, video games, those were my friends. That's what I'd, you know, it's what held me together. So, going into making any of my content I've ever made for anything, D&D with friends, Tumblr posts, YouTube, whatever, I always felt if I could make one person's day a little bit better, just make one person smile and chuckle once, be worth whatever effort I put into it. And, well, I feel like that's certainly succeeded. Chatting with people on Twitch, and the YouTube comments, on Discord. I feel like I've started to make friends with some of you out there. Some more than others, you know. And even the ones that only leave one comment every now and again, I appreciate you. And those of you who watch and don't comment, I appreciate you. I'm happy to have all you here with me on this journey. These last 2 years, I feel like I've grown so much. This last year in particular, you know, I jokingly am on the bandwagon that likes to call pre-pandemic the before times, because we're living in a shitty fucking dystopia novel. But, in more ways than that, these last 2 years have changed a lot, and this last year in particular, you know, I've made my YouTube channel on Twitch. I've learned so much about how to make the content better. I've gotten better mic, better internet. I've gotten my tabletop system that I've been developing since high school to a position where I feel I'm ready to, like, start showing it off and look into polishing the book and publishing a version of it. Like, that's gonna take some time, obviously, but... I mean, I've moved out of my parents' home finally. I'm not living on my own. I'm living with my brother and his fiancée and their roommates, but I'm in a better place. And things have been getting better. Despite how bad it feels like the world is sometimes. And I feel like I have a lot of you to thank for that. Just for the support, you know? But, in terms of, you know, special little announcements for today. Sorry, hang on. On the day that this goes up, a new series is beginning. Hero Infinite. It'll be weekly D&D sessions. Well, D&D, Heart of Action, my system, not D&D. I've gotten so used to just saying D&D as a catch-all term for all tabletop RPGs, because that's what most people understand. You know, Heart of Action. In a world full of superheroes and supervillains and magic and monsters, you know, a reflection of our modern day world, but comic booky. As of the time I'm recording this, we've already got the first 3 videos done. The one going up today is Ace D'Angelo, World's Greatest Thief. Ironically, the first hero in our superhero setting being a normal human with no magic powers. He's a thief who robs from criminals and gets evidence to give to the police. Next week we're going to be having The Moth, a superhero with all the powers of a moth who fights crime. And after that is going to be Bend Over in Bend Over Backwards, a time-traveling cyborg who's come back to stop a Terminator-style apocalypse. And I still have so many more plans of sessions I've made with my friends. Kitsune, a Kitsune with ink controlling powers. Catboy Wizard from who's attending magical school. A kaiju fighting, like, shonen style superhero. A psychic chicken. My friends have all come up with so many fascinating characters. There's more than that. It's just... I want to spoil all of them. You know, every session for now is going to be the introduction of a new hero, but eventually we'll get continuing stories and intertangling plot lines, and I hope it'll become something big, and I'm actually working on having Hero Infinite be the first finished and published setting in Heart of Action. Oh, and actually, I meant to, when I started talking about Hero Infinite, hit this little button. Hang on. Hero Infinite. Yeah. Yeah, so fucking that's the logo of the series. That most of the videos are more podcast than anything, but there is light visuals. Every now and again I'll show a map. I've got a special UI. One of the players even made a VTuber of their character. I hope all you on YouTube enjoy it. I know people on Twitch have been enjoying it a lot. But as another big announcement for the day this goes live, if you look at the channel right now, like, I mentioned that my initial attempts were all the way back in 2021, and nothing ever got uploaded from that, except one video that never got made public. It was my attempt at a Fallout playthrough. It's a little scuffed. I ultimately never went through with it because when I went to record episode 2, the recording got, like, bugged out and messed up, and I got a little dejected when that happened. You know, it hurt me, and especially because I didn't have a save to fall back to, and I was just like, I have to re-record the first episode 2 then. It hurt, you know? But, so I never uploaded it. But today, to celebrate 1 year of doing this, I'm going to make it public. It'll be linked to in this video. I'm also going to link at the end of this video the first Hero Infinite episode in the thumbnail, or the things that come up at the end of the episode talking about what there is. But yeah, so you can watch 2021 Brian with his much shittier mic and a slightly low quality recording of Fallout 1. Yeah, I guess that's all I have for announcements. You know, I'd mentioned, like, I want to try and make a Patreon eventually, and, you know, I want to publish Heart of Action. I want to maybe someday look into making video games, and I've also low-key been designing a board game, because I'm weird and I like doing lots of projects. So how, if some of you might be wondering, how can you help with that? The answer is to do what you're doing. Watch my videos, like them, share them with friends, come to the Twitch streams, message me on Tumblr, like my Tumblr posts, join the Gas Network Discord, and support me and my friends with our YouTube and Twitch channels, you know? Just hang out, you know? All that enough motivates me to keep going. And one day this could become something bigger. I could go from the, how many followers was it again? 40 something? Hang on. One day maybe I can go from the 42 subscribers I have to something more. Maybe I won't. But as long as there's even one person watching 1 or 2 of my videos a month, I'll probably keep going with this. So if I can make one person happy once in a while, it's worth it. I hope all you have a good day and enjoy the surplus of content today with this plus 3 videos going live all at once. I hope to see you all back soon. Ta-ta!